We'll go ahead and call this committee meeting to order, Long Range Planning Committee meeting for March 12, 2025. The reason why I am taking the lead is because this is our first Long Range Planning Committee, and we need to make sure that we get a chairperson, and once that chairperson is elected, they will take it from here. First item is roll call, and I'll go ahead and do the roll call. Mr. Lejeune?
Here.
Mr. DeZarmo? Here. Ms. Trahan? Ms. Trahan is not here. She may be coming in. Since we do have two of the three, we do have a quorum to continue. Moving into agenda item 2.1, selection of facilities and long-range planning committee chairperson. I will take any nominations for chairperson from the committee.
I'd like to, Mr. Touchette, I'd like to nominate Mr. Chad DeZarmo as chair.
All right, we have Mr. Chad DeZarmo. We have no one else to nominate. Mr. Lejeune didn't nominate himself, so we will consider that nomination closed. Congratulations, Mr. DeZarmo. I will now turn over the gavel to Mr. DeZarmo. That will take us through 2.2.
Thank you, Mr. Touchette. Thank you, Mr. David. 2.2 will be staff remarks. I'd like to turn it back over to Mr. Touchette for staff remarks.
I would like to turn it over to Robert Gautreaux. Robert?
Hello. All right. So I know we're going to go through the list and kind of update what is on the list for long-term planning. A few of the items on there, projects have been taken care of already. Can we pull the list up now, or is it too early to do that? Okay. So just kind of updating on long-term planning right now. We've got over the past couple of years built a few schools. We do have plans coming for 3 wings that we've already started to see more progress on that, to work toward it. We're at budgeting right now. And then our goal is just to decide, help y'all decide what you want to put on the list, what you want to prioritize, and talk y'all through it, pull some budgets once you get some money, help y'all arrange that, and we're going to do what y'all need done. So if y'all have questions for me, can ask. Y'all can always call me freely, but if y'all have questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, Mr. Gautreaux.
Yep.
I know in the past, one of our big pushes was to remove all portable buildings in the parish. Mm-hmm. Can you kind of give me an update on, how many schools still have portable buildings and?
Yep. So Ms. Gardner can pull it. So we're making progress with it. We completely eliminated Como High of portables. When we shut down Bob Lilly, that was a lot of portables. We're working at SOAR, Ambassador Annex right now. All of those are going to be up on the GovDeal site for auction this week. From there, the issue we have is that the schools that have portables are still using them. So kind of the hurdle we have to get over, I'll say a Broadmoor, for example, Dusson, for example. We have portables. We can't get rid of them until we figure out what we're doing with the kids that still need them. So one of the long-term things I've looked at, I've reached out to kind of get some pricing on wings, simpler than what we've built of these new schools recently, much lower price level, that it's more feasible that instead of going to bond money or those things, we may be able to even cover some of these with normal capital outlay money. We get into a year where we have 15, 16 million in capital. We may be able to do wings at 2 schools like a Broadmoor and a Dusson with that money.
Now, how much do you think it would cost to build a wing like a
Dusson? So at Dusson, we have 9 portables there, so it'd be about 10 or 12 classrooms. Square footage, the figures I just pulled from some that were built from one of the firms I reached out to, they're looking around at $350 per square foot. A 14 classroom wing with bathrooms, $5 million, which is way less than we've been paying for things, so that's doable. Now, these are much simpler builds. These are metal buildings, veneered in brick or CMU, cinder block buildings. It's not fancy glass, but it's good construction, safe, updated, brand new. It's better than a portable building. So a Dusson, I'd say around $5 million we could do. Broadmoor is about the same. Get to some of these other schools that may have a little more like a Gaulet or something, it would be much more. But we can start with some of these small schools. I think we can knock it out. And that's gonna, I know y'all main goal is get rid of portables, and I don't blame you. Like for us, it's a maintenance issue all the time in them, so whatever we gotta do to get rid of them, we're ready.
Thank you.
So Mr. Lejeune, first of all, completely understand that what the goal is as far as getting rid of portable buildings. By all means, we have been communicating that, and we're going to make sure that we do what we can. But I want to go back to is that some of these portables at these particular sites are needed, and until we can make improvements as far as extending, as Robert said, we're going to need to continue with these portables. So our goal is, like, for example, I mean, the old Prairie right there on Congress. We're looking to get rid of all of those different things. I mean, that's a property that we need to kind of make a decision of what we're going to do with that. But it is definitely in our wheelhouse, and it's something that we want to continue to push toward as far as getting all of these portables out of our facilities.
Yep. Let me give you one more little challenge we have with getting them out. So one thing is if they're occupied, we have to find place for those people. The bigger challenge for us is actually getting rid of the building. So we surplus it, it goes to Gov Deals, it's an auction. If someone purchases it, then they're responsible for moving it. Well, the problem is if you purchase these, many of these are old. The wind load rating on these, they cannot use them for any commercial or educational use anymore. So they can't move them into a city and make a school out of it, make a daycare out of it. So then people come back to us, well, I need a refund. And we tell them this stuff up front, but they think, oh no, I can get around that. So then they come back to us and we're stuck with the building. The problem with getting rid of the building, to demolish it, is about $10,000 or $12,000 per building. So it's better for us if we can find someone that wants to take it. So once it goes through Gov Deals, sells, doesn't sell, we offer them up, and it's been $100 a building. First person with $100 come, we give you a bill of sale, you leave with it. But then they go in, well, it costs $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 to move it. So then they come back. So in the end, we end up having to demolish them, and it costs us $10,000 or $12,000 a piece. So our fight is, how do we get rid of them? We can get rid of them, but it's expensive. So just SOAR has about 20 of them. If you do 20 at $12,000 a piece, you're $250,000 just in getting rid of the buildings. So it's just an obstacle we're fighting and trying to figure out.
Now, like at Acadiana. Now, like at Acadiana, would that be, if we're lucky enough to build a wing at some point, would that be included in the cost of the wing?
So you can. It's going to come out to about the same price. Now, I don't know if we can include it. I would prefer to include it as demo price, have that demo built into it, try and sell them. If we can't sell them, be able to do the demo out of that budget, because we really don't have, we have a budget every year to work on portables, but it's not enough to start doing that much demolition. Our hope would be is if we could find someone somewhere that had a use for these things, non-commercial, like we've had fire departments reach out. They can use them. They use them for training. They pull them on a site, they fill them with smoke, and they do training. That's great. And if we could give it to them, do an intergovernmental agreement, we'd be glad to. Karen Crow, the police took some. They're using them for training. So if we could find things like that, and they get them over to move them, that's what we need to do. So we just need to reach out and figure out how can we get rid of them where they don't cost us money. That's my goal.
Mr. Lejeune, I have some of your answers for you. Just to let you know, in 2016, we had 483 portable buildings. In 21, we opened the 9 wings, which replaced about 196. Now, I do believe after the 483, we added some more, because at one point, we had almost like 600 portable buildings. In 2021, we opened 9 wings, which replaced 197 classrooms at the time. Currently, as of this past November, we had 201 portables left. So we have made significant strides. The previous board, the board of 2015, came in with the initial removing the portables, and that's how the 9-wing expansion came on.
Now, out of that number, how many are in District 1?
In District 1, currently you have at, hold on real quick, let me go, I have lots of things open at this time. So currently at, wrong sheet. Currently at Acadiana High, you have 32 classrooms. You have at Leo Judy's, you have 9. At Scott Middle, I believe we removed all from Scott. Haven't we removed all of them from Scott, I believe? At Scott Middle, there's 0 left.
Correct.
At West Side, we have 14 classrooms left.
And Dusong, you got
I'm so sorry.
8, I believe.
I believe it's 8 from my memory. Yes, no, actually, at Dusong, we have 11 classrooms. Remember, not building classrooms. So some buildings are singular. That's why that number's odd. So you will have a portable building that will be solely as one, but you could have a double portable building. We only have 1 modular left in the district, and it is at Catherine Drexel.
Thank you.
We might as well stay right there for 2.3. 2.3, committee discussion or action to update the committed school sites additions, renovations, and replacement list. And I know we've had some changes, actually, since this agenda's been out. We've had a few changes. Lafayette Middle Library is complete, correct?
Yes.
Also, the South Side stuff is
It's
complete.
in progress, yes.
So the reason why we put this on the agenda for the committee meeting is, first of all, let me acknowledge that Ms. Trahan is here, and we also have Mr. Hidalgo, and we have Mr. Bergeron that also, that not part of the committee, but are board members. The reason why we asked for this to be put on the agenda is because anything that is done here needs to be brought to the board, and there are certain projects that you see listed here are things that need to be removed from this particular list, because these projects are already underway. These projects are already done, that we're already attacking that with funding that is outside of what we need to look for. So, Robert, do you want to go through the ones that we need to remove so that the committee members will know what they need to make a motion for?
Yep. So you would be making a motion to remove Southside High Home and Visitor Stadium because it's in progress now. You would remove Lafayette Middle School Library. That's been completed, a complete renovation there. Under the replacements, S.J. Montgomery, we already have a plan for that, and it's going to go through demo at the beginning of next school year. So those 3 could be completely removed from this list.
Okay. I'll make a motion to remove Southside High Home and Visitor Stadium, Lafayette Middle School Library, and the S.J. Montgomery Elementary.
I'll second it.
What's the completion date for the Southside High Stadium?
It's in phases. The field is finished. The track will be finished any day now. We actually have a meeting there tomorrow. The bleachers are being constructed in the, I think they're coming from Ohio is where they're being built. They'll be in, we'll have them end of April. They'll be installed by the end of June. The concession stand will be finished early to mid-August. So by August, everything will be complete. Before the first game, there'll be a complete stadium there, ready to roll.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Mr. Gocho, can you just kind of give us an overview of what remains on the list and kind of the status
Yeah,
of where
I
that
can.
is, as
So-
well as what is listed as replacements to the following?
Okay, I can do that. So currently, the current Seymour that was awarded, that right now is just in the process of building a budget, Judice, Acadiana High, and LJ Alamo, all 3 of those are grouped together for academic wing rebuilds. So in all 3 of those, we'd be tearing down something at the school and rebuilding. And it's actually opposite of that. We'd rebuild something. Once it's built, then we would do some demolition. So just getting rid of some of the older parts of the facilities. Acadiana High would be getting rid of portable buildings. LJ and Judice would be getting rid of some of the older structure and building something new. David Thibodeau, when it was basically built as a middle school, so it doesn't have a true full-size gym. To build an actual high school regulation gym there, we're looking at about an $8 million build. So it's there. It would need a gym. It's a budget issue there. Carencro High School, AOIT area, they're functioning there, but again, they're in portable buildings. They would need a wing for that build, which wouldn't be a big wing. You're looking at probably $2 to $3 million there. And then Northside High School, or J.W. Falk Elementary. So J.W. Falk and S.J. are the same school. J.W. Falk, S.J., and L.J. were all built around the same time. I will say this, J.W. Falk is in the best shape of the three. S.J. was worse, L.J. not much better. J.W. is actually the better of the three, but it's on the list for renovations. The renovations there, we did some flooring last summer. If we can get funding to do things this summer, it would be painting and moving back into lighting and paint. North side, as far as for a replacement, it's on the list there too. So I will say this, we're doing a lot of work at Northside. It's coming up soon. I don't know how far out a replacement would be for this one. We're doing lighting upgrades. We're changing to LED lighting. We're doing a lot of painting this summer. We're going to get those approvals tomorrow night, hopefully. Northside, as far as for the foundation and the building itself, is in good shape. It is our most energy efficient school in the district. So when you do a per student, per day count on what it costs to run a school, Northside is our most efficient. Y'all would never guess which is our least efficient. Southside. Northside costs us about $1.15 per student per day to operate on the energy side. Southside is about $3.50 per student per day to run. And if you look at the population of each school, that can tell you the difference in what it takes to run those two. So it tells you when Northside was built, it was built well. It's got a great foundation. It's got a great energy efficiency to it. It's a really well-built school. We have a major plumbing project coming in there this summer. We're redoing some of the underground plumbing through the courtyard. We just found out last week we're not going to have to interfere with the big oak trees that are there. Initially, we thought we were going to have to do some work around them, which could have caused some issues, but we can reroute to not damage the oak trees. We did a lot of painting there last year, and we're doing a lot more coming this summer. So, any other questions?
I might be a Jennifer question. Attendance currently for Northside and Southside, actually.
Off the top of my head, without looking, I would say that Southside's about 1,800, and I would say Northside's between 500 and 600.
So from that, you could figure out the energy. Yeah, I figured that, yeah. So it was a shock to us when we did the energy analysis. It's not what we were expecting at all. We were kind of expecting the opposite.
And to list the rest of the items on here, of course, we talked about Judy's Middle School Library, and Academic Wing, Acadiana High School Academic Wing Addition, LJ Alamar renovations, the David Thibodeau Gym, Karen Crow's AIoT program, and the J.W. Falk, with Northside now being the only new school, right?
Yes, correct.
And so just a question regarding Northside. We don't have Paul Burrell on the list anywhere there. So I guess throughout, and maybe this is a question for Superintendent Touchette, maybe throughout the course of our committee meetings this calendar year, we'll have conversation regarding that as well, because of course there was proposals, early last year, the latter part of last year. So I presume that's how we'll continue to engage.
Yes, ma'am. This particular agenda item was just to clean up the list. And by all means, any committee member can bring up anything that they want to do as far as adding, removing, changing the order of, but understand that all of this needs to go to the actual board for final approval. So you're right, Ms. Trahan, you will have an opportunity just like any other board members. I just wanted to make sure that we got this in front of you because there are projects that need to be removed from here because they're already in progress. We already are moving on certain things, and I want to see a cleaner list so that you can actually make decisions based upon what you would like to see changed, what you would like to see rearranged, added, so on and so forth, so that when these decisions are made, we can take it from here and bring it to the board.
Okay, I just needed some clarity because I know David Thibodeau as well is in my district, and you mentioned that's about $8 million, so that's quite a large amount. And so I'm just looking at all of the schools within
and the initial
as well.
Numbers we pulled for a Northside Paul Bro building at the standards or close to what we're building the other schools right now would be around $90 million. It depends on what kind of school you want to build. You can build schools cheaper than that and still have very nice schools. It all depends on the architectural style you want your school. So things to look at, there are schools all over the state. We've got architects here that could be happy to show us some of those other schools they built around the state, and give us a dollar amount. So I think our method is, let's find a budget first and see what we could bill for that amount. And then if y'all are happy with that, try and move toward that. But there's a lot of, you can get nice schools for 30 million, you can get nice schools for 90 million that hold the same number of students. So it's just something to look at.
Mr. Hand and the rest of the committee, I just want you to also know that the reason why we were able to remove Southside and remove Lafayette Middle is because that was one-time money that we were able to find in the budget and take care of that. I foresee that, I don't know if this will be in the near future. I would hope that things like a David Thibodeau, because believe it or not, it needs another gym. I mean, there's a lot of kids there. There needs to be another gym there. And we need to find, you know, somewhere within the budget, because I mean, I don't see that we need to go and bond out for $8 million. We can, I don't know if we can find this in the budget. I'm not saying we can, but that is how we were able to take care of Southside. That's how we were able to take care of Lafayette Middle. So my hope is that the ones that are remaining on the list are things that you guys are going out and saying, we're going to bond these out. We're going to go and we're going to take the monies that we have reoccurring and go find where we can get more money for those reoccurring funds.
Last question I have for you, Mr. Gautreaux. Just so we see this list to clean it up, like Francis said, but there is another list, right? There is a longer list than that.
Yeah, we have another list of the smaller type projects that are typically more of your capital improvement projects that are anywhere from the $30,000 up to the $250,000 range. So we have a list of about $10 million of those listed out, which we're doing. We have them kind of prioritized based on safety and the ones that we really feel we need. We're working that through the little bit of capital money we had this year. Luckily, we're still, as we're moving through projects, getting a lot of savings from what we originally budgeted projects at and what we're spending. So we're able to save that money and recoup some and just come back and do. So we're attacking that list with other money to try and keep it separate where y'all can focus more on the bigger ones. And we did in this year 300-400 projects. Not that we're ever going to run out, but it is going to slow down on those. And those are the projects that typically all your capital money went to. So if we're knocking those out, I think we can allocate more of that capital money each year, if it's 10, 12, 15 million, to knock out some of these wings. I think that's our method. Anything under the $10 million amount, I think we can do that. And I really think for 10 million, we could knock out a couple of wings at a time and get rid of portable buildings.
Board have any more comment? Thank you, Mr. Gautreaux.
Thank you.
2.4, public comment. We have any public comment?
Oh, yeah, we need a vote on those changes that were made, a motion from Mr. So I think we had a motion, you had a second.
Second, yep.
Okay. Call for the vote, yeah.
Mr. Lejeune?
Yes.
Mr. DeZarmo?
Yes.
Ms. Trahan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
4, none against.
So item 2.4, back to public comments. Facilities and Long Range Plan Committee meeting was rescheduled for today. So do we have anybody that has any public comment on anything discussed? Moving on. Item 2.5, discussion of location of the time of the next meeting. I will take any suggestions at the moment from the board.
Yes, sir. I think that in the previous meetings, you were visiting schools and visiting facilities. I think that it would be good to, it wouldn't have to be every month, but continue to do it periodically where we can see, because there's certain schools that are going to need additions, wings, and, you know, it's good for the committee to see, you know, those facilities.
I agree. Monthly is fine with me, however we want to decide. If we want to do it every other month, monthly, I'm good with what we decide. What is best for you all?
Well, we were discussing times, but a lot of it's gonna depend on, like, if we go to a high school, they get out at 2:30, so we would do it 3:30, right? So they don't stay too late. If it's a middle school time, you know, it kind of varies, so it would just depend on the next location, really, what the time would be. If we wanna go to Northside High, then 3:30.
Mr. Desarmo, I'm sorry, can I please interrupt? We need to go back to 2.3 because once a motion is made for an agenda item and there's a second, we need to allow for public comment before we vote on it.
Understood.
So if we could come back to that agenda item, who made the motion?
David.
Mr. Lejeune.
Second by Miss Amy.
And it was seconded by Ms. Amy. Could you please reread the motion, Ms. Christie?
That the committee bring to the full board the below updated list of committed school sites, additions, renovations, replacements, which reflects removing Southside High Home and Visitor Stadium because it is in the process of being built, Lafayette Middle School Library, which is complete, and replacement of S.J. Montgomery Elementary due to being taken offline and relocated as Lafayette Elementary.
Mr. Desarmo, would you please call for any public comment?
Thank you, Ms. Jennifer. I'd like to have any public comment.
I got it. There you go. All right, Ryan Martin, Principal, Paul Bro Middle School. What I'd like to see, if the committee would grant this, is that Paul Bro be added to the replacements list along with Northside High School. I know in the final suggestions from CSG, one of the recommendations was to replace both of those campuses in a phased-out plan, Paul Bro being phase 1, Northside being phase 2. So I'd like to see Paul Bro added in as one of those campuses that would be replaced underneath Northside, if y'all would be willing to add that.
Any more public comment? I go to board comment.
Yeah, I'd like to. How many students currently at Paul Bro Middle School?
Currently at Paul Bro, hold on, I have the sheet open. I believe it's about 302 students, if my memory serves me correct. Am I correct?
Yeah, and we're
Yes, sir.
staffed for 323 next year, Mr.
Yes.
So is the school at capacity?
No, sir.
No.
So no portable buildings, right?
We have 2 on campus, but they're empty because they were being used by Gifted Enrichment, which was removed from Paul Bro in March of last year. But that's the only, well, 3, sorry, but they're not used at all.
So all kids are in brick and mortar classrooms?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Lejeune, the capacity for Paul Bro as it currently stands, based on what we built during district optimization, is in the permanent classrooms, 440, no, I'm sorry, that's incorrect.
I think it was,
Yeah, go ahead.
I think, Ms. Gardner, if I may, like the campus was built as a high school, so the capacity of it, I think,
Is
in
around
brick and
1,000.
mortar buildings is a little over 1,000
1,000.
kids, yeah. And currently, right now, I think we started the school year with about 314. We're sitting right around now about 270, 272, something like that, because of students that have been removed and went to La Rosen. And during staffing, a couple of weeks back, I'm being staffed at a student capacity of 323 is what the expectations are for next year.
Thank you.
I'll just respond to Mr. Morton's request. So there has been lots of discussion about Paul Bro and replacing Paul Bro. And of course, that is one of the schools in District 4. So that's something that the superintendent and I have discussed and committed to finding some funding for that to happen. Along with Northside High. Actually, middle school is really what's needed in the area. in terms of looking at the competition we always speak about, charter schools and competing against charter schools. So I would definitely support putting that on the list for adding it to the list.
Can you get a second on that?
Mr. Lejeune, I'm sorry, it was 1,100 for the entire campus. The main building, just like when you come to Popro where the office is, the main building is 447 max capacity.
So I think we're going to need to make a substitute motion that Ms. Amy would go ahead and add that to this particular motion. So we need a substitute motion, Ms. Amy. If you can just read that and then add that Paulboro needs to be added, and then if we get a second, we can vote on that.
So just the recommended action that's here.
Just adding Paulboro to the list of replacements.
Yes, so just also adding, in addition to Northside, adding Paulboro Middle as a replacement to the list.
I'll second it.
And we need public comment
Yep, public comment?
on the substitute.
I guess I'll do that again. All right, so in looking at this particular item, when I talked with Ms. Trahan, of course, I pulled the self-funded construction fund that was in the January board meeting. And this item's been on the self-funded construction fund for quite a while, and it's a committed Northside High School replacement, and there's $3.2 million sitting there. If my judgment serves me correct in talking with others, about a $3.3 million would bond out to $45 million. But if we're building a school for 30, of course, we wouldn't need that much. But right now on the committed high school replacement, there's $3.2 million. That's a projected fund balance as of 6/30 of this year. That's in self-funded construction fund from the January meeting.
But Mr. Martin, what you're not understanding is that $3.2 million is one-time money.
Okay.
It's not reoccurring, and you can only bond out what reoccurring
What
funds.
reoccurring funds?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right, so that's my misunderstanding. Sorry about that. But I know that we do have in those committed school sites addition and renovations, you know, with the age of Paulboro and that type of stuff. I know there's other projects that Mr. Gotro was gonna go through with y'all, so there may be some projects that we can put on hold for right now because it doesn't necessarily deal with academics in order to possibly bond out for school replacement. So I know you guys are working hard on a lot of things, and I know that's a place that we can probably find money, but like Mr. Gotro said, if we're looking at building a $30 million facility, if we had to bond out for that, we wouldn't be looking at a whole lot of cash on hand to be able to do that in order to build a new school for our kids. Because it is an aged facility, it's got a lot of maintenance issues and this type of stuff. So I'd really like to see a new school built for the kids at that part of phase one based out of CSG's recommendations.
I just want to make sure everybody understands, this is just a recommendation to go to the board, right? So just when we're doing the comment, just, you know, so we all understand the same thing. Whatever we decide here gets brought before the original board.
I have another question, Mr. Norman. Mr. Gotro, what would be the location of a new Paulboro? Would it be put on the same?
So it would be hard to build it on the same site without tearing that school down first. There is a lot of land there. We have the property that Northside currently sits on that we could actually put a Paulboro and a Northside on the same site and keep them separate, fenced separately. We have the property that we own between Louisiana Avenue and Moss Street that was purchased for a possible new build of an athletic facility on Northside. So we have multiple options in that area. It'd just be up to the board to decide where they would want to do it. So Northside has quite a bit of property on its current location, and I know there was talk back and forth of having it. I know there was talk that you didn't want your high school and middle school kids on the exact same site, but we could build it where they would be separate on that site. So it'd be a board preference as to where you wanted. But keep in mind the property that is there. Another talk was actually selling the property that we own and making money to put toward the school. So I don't remember how many acres it is, but it's about a $3 million piece of property. That's about the value now. It'll be worth more in 2 years after Buc-ee's is built, so that's something to keep in mind there. If we wait until Buc-ee's is built, that the property value will go up. So just something for y'all to think about.
Okay. And on the same campus, it would be two separate?
We could, yes, we could build it out as two separate schools on the same site. And there was even talk of two schools that, do they share a cafeteria? Do they each need a cafeteria? Because cafeteria cost is way more expensive to build than anything else at a school. So if there was a way we could build and do both and utilize one cafeteria, it would really save a lot of money. But again, it's however you want to approach it.
And right now, do all Paul Bro students, are they zoned for Northside?
No, sir. The majority are, but I don't believe all of them are off the top of my head. I'd have to overlay my map.
Thank you.
Jennifer, you could provide that information.
Yes, ma'am, I can look at it while we move on.
Any more board comment? Thank you, Mr. Gotro.
We need a call for the vote.
Oh, we're going to call for the vote. We had a first and then
On
a
the
second.
substitute motion.
The substitute motion.
Mr. Lejeune?
Yes.
Mr. DeZarmo?
Yes.
Ms. Trahan?
Yes.
3, 4, none against. Motion carries.
Moving on to 2.4, it's public comment again. I'm a rookie here, so help me out. Is this opening up for public comment? Is this necessary or okay? I got you. Okay. So moving on, 2.5, discussion, location, and time for the next meeting. Miss Amy or Mr. David, any ideas or any suggestions of where y'all want to meet? Again, that the school chosen would decide the time. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's two campuses in District 1 I'd like to, at some point, have a meeting at. El Leo and Duson, probably two campuses that need to be looked at for future, growth. So, but if we want to go somewhere else next meeting, I'm fine with it.
I'm open with going to your district for the next meeting.
Judy's, what time would be dismissal?
So
Dismissal
middle
at
school.
3:50.
3:50. So 5 o'clock, 4:30.
4:30.
Ms. Christie, I need some guidance on dates for next month. Is there a particular day we're trying to choose? So it could be April 24th.
April 24th, I'd have to check the calendar.
Okay. And we will do a 4:30.
Mr. Decimo, if you'd like, we can get together tomorrow and set up a calendar for the year.
Yes, ma'am. Just so we can let everybody know.
Location.
Yes, ma'am. So make a motion to go to Judy's.
Yeah, I'll make the motion. Next meeting will be at El Leo Judy's at 4:30.
I'll second.
Date will be pending, but location identified.
And to clarify, with the current maps that are set, there actually are no students that go to the Como or to the Lafayette High. It looks like they feed directly into Northside High.
So we have a motion and a second. We got to get public comment.
Public comment on the next board meeting being at LEO Judy's. Okay, moving on.
Okay, board comment.
Board comment?
All right.
I just want to say I'm glad we're going to LEO. That's a school I went to when I was there.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we need a call for the vote? Call for the vote.
Call for the vote on the location of the next meeting.
Mr. Lejeune, you said Elio Judy's or Judy's?
Leo.
El Leo.
Elio Judy's gets out at 3:10 in the afternoon, so
3:10. So we could
they
actually
get
go
out at
4 then.
3:10. So you really could move it up to 4. That way, the administration team don't have to stay as long.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can do a correction. We'll go 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Yep.
Perfect.
If you'd like, I can read the motion that you're about to vote on. The motion is the next meeting will be held at LEO Judy's at 4:00 p.m. Date will be released in the near future.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lejeune?
Yes.
Mr. DeZarmo?
Yes.
Ms. Trahan?
Yes.
3, 4, none against. Motion carries.
With that being the final item, this meeting is adjourned.